Mrs. Medlock. She's come all the way from India.
You talk too much, Martha.
Sorry, Mrs. Medlock. That's what me mum says. I talk too much.
Staff, I do not wish to repeat myself. Pay strict attention.
Yes, Mrs. Medlock.
As you know, a young lady is coming to stay here in Misselthwaite Manor. Mary Lennox.
The master's your niece.
She's come all the way from India. She has no one else in the world.
Poor child. The parents took her with the cholera in the fourth land. Tis. What is cholera? You don't want to know, lad.
Yes, I do.
It's like a terrible fever. Only worse.
Never mind that. She's to be left to herself, more or less. I hear she's a moody child. And as for the rest of you, there is to be no mention of, well, you know who. Mr. Craven's orders. Am I clear?
Yes, Mrs. Medlock.
Good.
She's here. I'll open the door.
You'll do no such thing. You forget yourself, Martha.
Sorry, Mrs. Medlock.
John,
Yes, Mrs. Medlock?
the door.
But you are Mrs. Medlock. The door.
As for the rest of you, get back to your duties. There is plenty to keep you busy, I'm sure.
Miss Medlock. You are Miss Medlock.
Yes, and you are Miss Crawford?
Quite so. You have no idea how amazing it is to be back in England.
There's no place like India.
My
Like
husband,
England. My apologies.
my husband's in the land since he's been reassigned.
It was most kind of you to escort Mary Lennox all the way from India.
What choice did I have? The outbreak of cholera was devastating. She couldn't return by herself. I should like to speak with Mr. Crane.
I'm afraid that's not possible. He's in poor health, never receives.
How inconvenient. In any case, my duty's done. She's your worry now. This is Mary Lennox.
What? Her?
No, this is my servant, Conchi. I never travel anywhere without Conchi. I find her indispensable. I thought Mary's with you, Conchi. She must have been away.
Gracious, you haven't lost the child.
Don't be absurd. I don't wish to speak out of turn, Miss Medlock, but the girl has proven a trial. She's stubborn.
All your letter said was moody.
She's that too. I cannot imagine why her parents let her be so very rude and difficult.
Well, I hope she won't prove too troublesome. I have no time for tantrums. All of my energy goes into maintaining this large house. It's no easy task.
I can well imagine. You should go find her, Conchi.
Yes, Monty. Here she is now.
Where were you, Mary?
I wanted to look about. It's a gloomy sort of house, isn't it? I doubt if I shall be happy here. Best not to get my hopes up.
She talks like also old lady. Give yourself time, child. You'll soon make friends.
I don't think so. People never like me, and I never like people. I never had any friends. See what I mean?
Yes, I do. My word, she's a plain piece of goods, isn't she? Heard her mother was a great beauty. Seems she didn't pass much of it down. Seems thin to me. Too pale.
Perhaps she'll improve as she grows up. Like Lily.
There's nothing likely to improve a child here at Misselthwaite Manor. Though, she could do with a nicer expression.
Go on! Talk about me as if I weren't here! After all, I'm only Mary Lennox who might improve as she grows older. Then again, she might not.
Dear me, she doesn't hold her tongue, does she?
I mean, never seen such a contrary child.
She's as spoiled as they come.
The master will not put up with her willfulness.
I am only a small and innocent child. I just prefer to get my way. I don't know how you'll be able to tame the likes of her.
Crossing from India, I'd like to have lost my mind trying to find out where she was and what she was doing.
I can well imagine. She will have to comply with the rules of this house.
I will not!
She will do as she is told.
You have to make it stop this child.
I will get my way!
Well, I never.
She found a recipe for making porridge the way they do in India.
And she sprinkled cinnamon in the hot cocoa. Seems like in India, they like more flavor than we do in England.
Miss Mary,
She's still not sleeping, is she?
how should I know? I'll take that. Which one of you is Sowerby?
We're both Sowerby, Miss Mary.
Martha Sowerby? I'm Martha, miss. And this be Betty.
Miss Mary.
Miss Medlock said you were to look after me. You should have been here earlier. I had to dress myself. Can't you put on your own clothes? You're a strange sort of servant. When I was in India, I never had to dress myself. Can't you dress me? It was the custom.
That would be the foreign lady in a strange dress, the one who arrived with you in the carriage.
It's not a strange dress! Oh, it's called a sari! It's what Hindu women wear in India! You're very ignorant! Ow! It's true I'm to look after you, but I'm really not your servant! Then whose servant are you?
Well, she's Mrs. Medlock's servant, and Mrs. Medlock is Mr. Craven's servant.
Does my uncle know I'm here?
That he does, miss, but you needn't expect to see him, because 10 to 1 you won't. He comes and goes as the maid strikes.
But I want to see him.
He rarely sees anyone.
But I'm his niece.
That's not likely to make any difference to the master.
Very set in his ways he is.
What is this stuff? Looks horrid.
It's Indian porridge. Cook made it special for you.
I never eat porridge. Throw it out.
Throw it out? Oh, miss, you don't mean that.
I always mean what I say.
Put a spoon of sweet syrup in it, or a bit of sugar.
That will make it tasty.
Didn't you what I said? I don't want it. I don't want any breakfast.
I hate to see good food go to waste. If some children saw this tray, they'd lick it clean.
Why?
Why?
Because they're as hungry as young foxes and foxes.
I don't know what it is to be hungry. Take it away.
If you say so, miss.
Now finish dressing me. What am I to do with myself all day?
Mrs. Medlock says you're not to make a nuisance of yourself. If you're in the house, try and stay out of the way.
It's such a large house. I'll go exploring.
Mrs. Medlock wouldn't like that. Mustn't go poking about, miss.
How many rooms?
No one knows for certain. Over 600, they say. Though most of them is locked up now. Dickon is working in the gardens. He likes company.
Who is Dickon?
Me brother. You'll like him. He knows all about making gardens bloom. Oh, and when it comes to animals, he's the best friend they've got. Birds come and eat out of his hand. However, there's little to eat. He's always saving a bit of bread to coax in his pets.
I doubt if I like him, and I'm sure he won't like me.
I can't stand and chatter, miss. I got me duties. Take a walk outside the house. Get to know the place. That's me advice. If you get hungry, cook will fix you something.
Martha,
Yes, miss.
I heard someone crying last night. Did you hear someone crying?
Goodness, miss. I never hear anything at night. I'm tucked away in the attic.
Well, I'm certain I heard someone crying.
If you say so, miss.
I know what I'll do. I'll get my swimming robe.
It's a great idea, miss. Have yourself a little holiday.
For Miss Mary is an excellent idea. I can't tend to my duties and take care of her. She's a difficult child, the sort of girl who gets on one's nerves.
I understand.
Books and lessons should do her good. The girl needs discipline.
I know how to deal with a problem child.
I hope you do. However, the decision lies with the master.
Naturally.
I shall ask him when the moment seems right.
Splendid. Mrs. Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow?
There's Miss Mary now.
with silver bells and cockle shells and marigolds all in a row.
Miss Mary, we don't skip rope in the house. It's unattractive.
I don't see what difference it makes. I'm no good at it, inside or out. Miss Crawford gave me the rope on shipboard. She said exercise would do me good. No one skips rope in India. It just isn't done.
Fresh air and proper exercise is essential to a learning process.
Who are you? This is Miss Wiggin. Young Dr. Craven suggested her for the position of governess.
Who is Dr. Craven?
Oh, bless me. You seem to know very little, Miss Mary. She's your uncle's cousin.
You don't need a governess. For me?
Well, who else I should like to know?
I don't need a governess. I don't want a governess. I'm quite intelligent for my age.
Allow me to be the judge, Miss Mary.
No! No governess! I won't have one! Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does a garden grow? With silver bells and cocoa shells and marigolds all in a row.
There. What did I tell you?
I'll save this for her. She has a mind of her own.
More's the pity.
Miss Medlock!
What now?
The child didn't eat a thing for breakfast. Whoever heard of a young English lady not having a proper breakfast?
She says she hates porridge.
Hates cocoa too. You cannot avoid cinnamon. I won't be held responsible if the master goes to skin and bones. A governess is definitely called for.
Quite.
Is she always the stubborn and contrary?
Since she's been at Misselthwaite Manor, and I'm sure long before that as well.
You don't get that obstinate overnight.
Or contrary and willful.
I think she must be the most obnoxious child I have ever seen. The lassie doesn't eat enough to keep a bird alive. Absolutely refuses.
And she won't go to bed when she's told either.
It appears I have my work cut out for me.
That you do, ma'am. That you do.
Mary, what are you doing?
I know it's you, Mr. Robin. I know you're chirping. Like to follow me about, you do. Does your feathers good to watch your lad work, eh? Well, I won't disappoint you. Let's see. How about I plant some Johnny top-ups? Some violets? Corbels? Oh, even some sweet fern.
Who are you talking with, Dickon?
Morning, Dr. Craven. He's up there. Follows me like a stray lamb. Do you see him?
You mean that Robin Redbreast?
Aye, he's a smart one, that little bird. Likes to chatter.
I'll take your word for it. No doubt you understand his peculiar language. You certainly have a way with the creatures of the field.
Mother says it's a gift. Oh, have you been with old Ben Weatherstaff?
Yes, I'm pleased with his progress. His broken leg is on the mend. However, he's worried about the grounds. Wants to come down here.
He's got nothing to fear. I've got everything under control. Like a good gardener's apprentice.
I'm sure you do.
I'll visit his cottage in a bit. Try to cheer him up.
Excellent idea. Reassure him all's well. That's the best medicine.
You leave it to me.
Good lad.
Someone's coming, you say? I wonder who that might be.
101, 102, 103, 104.
Morning, miss.
I know who you are.
Dickon Sowerby.
Martha's brother.
Yeah,
You know everything about plants and animals, Martha said.
I do know a lot. I ain't ashamed to admit that.
Aren't you kind of young to be the head gardener?
Oh, I'm not the head gardener. I help out a few days a week. Only it's every day now since old Ben's been laid up with a broken leg. He ain't as young as he looks to be.
I'm Mary Lennox.
Oh, yes, miss. I know. You've come all the way from India. I'm sure you've met all kinds of strange animals and such. I envy you.
One doesn't meet animals. They're just there. I suppose you mean the animals in India. Elephants and the like.
Well, I've never seen no elephant, except in picture books.
They can be quite disagreeable, especially when they have a bad tooth.
Dear God, when you have a moment, can you come look at the new pony? He doesn't seem lively enough to me, and he never speaks to me.
I'll come visit the stable as soon as I'm done with visiting old Ben. This is my brother Phil. He's the stable boy.
Miss Mary?
Seems to me there are a lot of Sowerbys in Misselthwaite Manor.
We're a large family.
Oi!
Dickon!
It's Mother.
Best go get the others. She'll be wanting to see us all. Go.
She will.
Dickon!
If it wasn't for the Misselthwaite Manor, I reckon us Sowerbys would go hungry many a night.
I'm hungry now. I didn't have anything for breakfast.
Oh, well, Mother will have something in a basket. You'll see.
You seem pleasant enough. Maybe we could be friends. But it's doubtful. I never have any friends.
There you are, Dickon. Didn't you hear me calling?
I was talking with Miss Mary.
The young lady older from India. How nice. Welcome to Yorkshire, child. Please give me regards to your dear uncle.
Oh, she didn't have nothing for breakfast.
No breakfast. You poor thing. Mustn't go without eating. Doesn't do. I bought some delicious apples at so I might pick, and some nice cinnamon buns I baked this morning for Dickon and his brothers and sisters. They were raised on them.
Well, I don't like cinnamon, but maybe an apple.
An apple it is. You're might pale, Miss Mary. You could do with a bit more colour in your cheeks.
Why does one section of the garden have a wall around it?
Do you mean over there?
Yes, I couldn't find a door.
There's a hidden door somewhere, but nobody's been there in over 13 years. Shrubs and vines have covered it up. Ben would know where it is.
Well, if there's a locked door, then there must be a key.
The master buried the key long ago, so no one was ever allowed to go in there again.
Why?
Gracious child, didn't your uncle tell you?
I haven't seen my uncle yet. I expect he's not too happy I'm here. But why did he bury the key to the garden? Please tell me.
I suppose you have a right to know. The garden was your aunt's favourite spot. She tended it all by herself. Roses mostly. She was just a bit of a girl. There was an old tree with a branch bent like a seat on it. One day, when she was sitting there, the branch broke. And she fell to the ground. It's so bad that the next day she died. The doctor thought Mr. Craven would go out of his mind and die too. But he didn't. That's why he hates the walled garden so and won't never let anyone go in there. He dearly loved his Lilius. Lilius? That was your aunt's name. There's some say she only married Archibald Craven because he was rich, and with a crooked back and all, but I think they loved each other dearly. Now he does nothing but hide himself away from the world, travelling here and there to forget. Poor man.
It's very lonely here.
I don't see how you could say that, miss. You haven't been here for long.
It doesn't matter! I'm lonely wherever I am, and I expect I always will be!
Gracious child, it's no way to look at things.
Mother!
Oh,
Mother!
it's Martha and Betty.
That's Mother! Mother!
What's in the basket? Sometimes I'll wager.
Let's all have one.
Better not let Miss Medlock catch us.
Leave the apples. I'm taking them back home with me. I'll bake some tasty pies. Only stop by to visit with Ben. Poor Podger. A broken leg is no blessing. But I couldn't leave without saying hello.
You mean to say all these servants are your children, Miss Sowerby?
They're my children. Oh, yes. Of course, they belong to Mrs. Sowerby too. May he rest in heaven.
How curious. And I suppose I should spend my days here being lonely and bored.
Rubbish, child. I know. You must get yourself a bit of ground and grow a garden.
You won't be lonely then. You'll see.
I don't know anything about gardens.
Now, Dickon, be a teacher, miss.
He could be like a brother to you.
I've never had any brothers or sisters.
I've got 11. I know what we'll do, Miss Mary. That is, if you'd like. I don't mean to presume.
What?
We'll make you an honorary member of the Sowerby family.
Would you like that, Miss Mary?
Why, I think I would like that. Thank you very much. Welcome to the family, Miss Mary. There's so many in your family. How does it work? Oh, Mary, a family is a sacred thing. It's something to cherish. We all work together and make sure things get done.
Like the cooking and cleaning, and the laughing and the playing.
We all love each other and take care of each other. Can you understand that? I've got lots of people to take care of me, but they don't make me happy.
That's because they're not your family.
But my family is... We didn't mean to upset you, Miss Mary. There's so many of us, and yet we always have room in our hearts for one more. I don't quite know what to say.
Say, you'll be our sister.
I'll be a sister.
Welcome to the family.
She can help me with chores around the house.
One doesn't.
How deceptive.
To brood on one's ailment only magnifies the situation.
If you say so, nurse.
I have my orders. I do as I'm told.
You know your place as I know mine. Ours is not to question.
From time to time, I have made suggestions about treatment to Dr. Craven, but they always seem to fall on deaf ear. I've learned to just hold my tongue.
Wise.
If only the boy wouldn't cry so much. And that temper.
I believe it's because he's unhappy.
And spoiled. The boy's terribly spoiled. I've said enough. Perhaps too much.
I would never betray confidence.
I know you wouldn't. Thank you, Miss Medlock.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
Miss Medlock, you said you wanted to see me?
Ah, yes. It's your uncle. He wants to see you before he goes.
He's going somewhere.
Isn't he always? Travel to foreign places. Somehow it doesn't seem natural.
Well, shall I go and brush my hair or put on my best dress?
There's no time. He'll be gone within the hour. That's how he is. Come along.
Well, what will I even say to him?
How should I know? What if he doesn't like me? That's your affair. Sir? Mr. Craven?
Yes, who is it?
It's Miss Mary, sir.
Ah, you can go now, Mrs. Medlock. Wait outside. I'll call when I want you to take her away.
Very well, sir.
Step closer, child. Are you well?
Yes.
I will be gone for some time. You will be left to your own whims. Consequently, I am thinking of employing a governess for you.
Don't make me have a governess.
That's what Mrs. Sowerby said. She's awfully fond of you. Do you like Mrs. Sowerby?
Oh, yes, I do, very much.
She knows about young people. She has 12 of her own. Many of them are on service here at Misselthwaite Manor.
I know.
She thought you should get stronger before you have a governess. Seems to think you don't eat enough. Are you afraid of me?
I'm generally not afraid of people I never get to see.
Well, I suppose you've heard that I'm a hunchback. I'm not. My back is very straight, that's all. I fear I know nothing of young people. Legally, I am your guardian, though I am a poor one for any child. I can give you neither time nor attention, and do ill and wretched and distracted. I sent for you today because Mrs. Sowerby said I ought to see you. I'm fond of Mrs. Sowerby. She's kind and respectable. I listen to her advice. I don't know when I shall see you again, if ever, but I do wish you to be happy and comfortable. Do you want toys, books, dolls?
Might I?
Speak up, child. What is it you want?
Might I have a bit of earth?
Earth? What do you mean?
To plant seeds in, to make things grow, to see them come alive.
No doubt you're talking about boy Dickens. Bit of earth. You can have as much earth as you would like.
Is there something wrong, Uncle? The way you're staring at me?
You just remind me of someone else who loved the earth and things that grow. When you see a bit of earth you want, take it, child. Make it come alive.
May I take it from anywhere if it does not want it?
Why not? Anywhere, if that is your wish. There's a county fair in the village next week. You might like that. I haven't been over 13 years. I used to enjoy it. Mrs. Sowerby asked I give you my permission to visit the cottage whenever you wish. I gave my consent.
Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Sowerby and Mrs. Medlock went to school together a long time ago. Mrs. Medlock!
Sir?
Now that I have seen the child, I agree with Mrs. Sowerby.
You mean she's not to have a governess?
Not yet, anyway. Give her simple, healthy food. Let her run wild outside. Don't look after her too much. She needs liberty and fresh air and romping about.
Uncle said I might have a garden.
Fine by me. It'll keep you out of the house, I'm sure.
Goodbye, Mary Lennox.
He really is a nice man.
If you say so. Come along now, Miss Mary. You heard the master. You're to look after yourself. You know. In the house, you're not to go wandering or poking about. It's unattractive.
I heard someone crying again last night.
Don't talk rubbish.
Oh, Martha, wait till you hear. You seem happy enough, Miss Mary.
I just saw my uncle.
Good for you, miss. I was afraid he'd leave without saying so much as a hello to you.
He says I can do whatever I want and I can have my garden.
Dickon will be a big help there.
He says I can visit your mother's cottage whenever I wish.
Oh, Mother will be pleased. She's taken a real liking to you. Says you need a little mothering.
I heard it again last night.
Heard what?
Miss Medlock says I was talking rubbish. But I know what I heard. And I know where it's coming from.
You don't mean crying.
Of course.
Oh, miss, don't go thinking about. It will only upset things.
You know who it is that cries, don't you?
Yes, I know. But I can't talk about it. None of us can. It's one of the master's rules. I could lose my position. Don't ask any more questions, please.
I know what must be done. I must go poking about. But first I'll have a word with Miss Sowerby.
Go to bed, Miss Mary.
One things
right. It's all your fault.
Your medicine all over the floor. I intend to tell Dr. Craven about this.
Tell him anything you like. What do I care?
You know you're not supposed to excite yourself.
Then stop giving me medicine I don't want. You're supposed to humor me. You're supposed to do everything I say.
It's time for your nap.
I wish to be left alone.
At once.
No, get out, get out!
Please, Master Colin.
I'll scream and I'll yell until I wake the whole household. You know I'm capable of that. Ah!
Very, very well. Calm down. Don't get excited. I'm leaving.
Good. Who are you? Are you a ghost?
No, I am not.
I'm Colin Craven.
I'm Mary Lennox. Mr. Craven is my uncle.
He's my father. Well, I suppose we're cousins then.
I suppose. We must be. Miss Sowerby told me about you only this afternoon. You're a great mystery. If it weren't for Miss Sowerby, I'd know little about Misselthwaite Manor.
My father won't let people talk about me. The servants are forbidden to.
Why?
Well, if I live, I may grow up to be a hunchback instead of just an invalid. My father hates to think I may be like him.
Is that why I hear you cry?
Yes. I cried because it makes my father wretched to look at me. Are you sure you're not a ghost?
I ought to know whether I'm a ghost or not.
My dreams are very real. Sometimes, when I open my eyes, I don't believe I'm awake.
I'll prove it to you.
Ow! I don't allow anyone to touch me except the doctor! How dare you do such a thing!
There's no need to be unpleasant.
Don't pinch me ever again! Are you here on a visit?
I live here now. My parents died in India. There was an outbreak of cholera.
No one told me a word about you. Do you miss your parents?
I don't remember much about them because servants raised me. Father was always away on military maneuvers and Mother was always getting ready to attend parties. She was a great beauty. I'm nothing like her.
You must come and visit me every day and tell me all about India. I've read books, of course, but I get bored with books. When you were in India, did you ever step on a cobra?
No, I should say not. Have you always been here?
Yes. I used to wear an iron brace on my back to keep it straight. Then, a specialist from London came and told my father to take it off. It was stupid, he said. He said I was to stay out in the fresh air as much as possible. I hate fresh air. I hate sunshine. I bet you don't know how old I am.
13.
How'd you know that?
Miss Sowerby told me when you were born, the garden door was locked and the key was buried. And Dickon told me it's been locked for 13 years.
What garden door was locked? Where was the key buried? Who did it?
Your father hates that garden. He was the one who locked the door. Do you really think that you won't live?
I've heard people say I won't.
Do you want to live?
No. But I don't want to die. When I'm ill, I lie in bed and think about it until I cry and cry and cry. My doctor is my father's cousin. She is quite poor, and if I die, she'll inherit the Misselthwaite when my father passes on. I should think she shouldn't want me to live. I want to see that garden. I want the door unlocked. I want the key unburied. I could go down there in my chair. That would be getting fresh air. I will make them open that door.
No.
Why not?
Because I want it to be a secret garden. You see, if the garden were a secret, it would be so much nicer. It would be special. We could get into it every day and watch the flowers grow bigger and bigger, and no one would ever know that we were there.
But I've never had a secret before. Other than the one about me not living to grow up. They don't think I know that yet, so it's sort of a secret. Oh, but I like this kind better.
Dickon will have to know about it, but I'm sure he's good at keeping secrets.
Oh, the boy who works for Ben Weatherstaff.
Mm-hmm. He knows everything about plants and animals, and he can talk to them too. Finding the garden door will be easy enough, but the actual garden itself will be a great deal of work. I'll have a lot to learn. It's somewhere behind the overgrown shrubs and vines.
What is the meaning of this, Colin? Nurse tells me you threw your medicine on the floor and refused to get in the bed.
No, I don't want you here. Can't you see I have a visitor?
How did you get in here?
Young lady, this is hardly the hour for visiting. Master Colin is unwell. He must remain quiet. I must ask you to leave.
No, I want Mary to stay.
That is out of the question. Don't excite yourself, Colin. Nurse, see that he gets into bed. I'll prepare a sedative.
Yes, Doctor.
No, I don't want to go to bed. I'll yell and I'll holler. I want Mary to stay. Ah!
He certainly has quite a temper.
I hope you are satisfied, miss.
I meant no harm.
Stay out of these rooms in the future. Understand?
This is the most curious house I've ever been in.
Isn't it wonderful, Dickon? The county fair. You're coming. You must.
There's lots to do here.
Oh, you can't be working all the time.
As long as I'm out in the open, I don't even mind it as work.
Everybody's going. Even Mrs. Medlock. It's the one day a year she looks almost human. Cook says we should be grateful for small favors.
I've got enough flowers for everybody. I've got snowdrops, daffodils, and even crocuses.
We'll go hurry along the others.
Martha says everybody takes flowers to the fair. Why?
I can't rightfully answer that, Miss Mary. It's just how it's always been, going back hundreds of years, maybe even more. See, when you go to the fair, you take a flower, and it's supposed to bring you good luck.
How curious. Oh, you'll never guess where I've been.
Talking with Master Colin again.
Yes, I've seen him every day since I first learned about him last week. The nurse knows when I visit, but she never tells the doctor. But what I really wanted to tell you was that I met Ben Weatherstaff, and he told me where the garden door ought to be.
Did he tell you where to find the key?
He doesn't know that. Colin will be so disappointed.
Look, there he is, see him?
The robin.
He's trying to tell us something. I can't quite make it out.
I think he wants us to follow him.
You're right. I can't go. I won't have people pulling out these flowers.
He's flying off.
You go, Mary. I'll come as soon as I'm done giving away these flowers.
Don't be long. Happiest day of the year.
This is one of my most favorite things.
Thank you.
Perhaps everyone would like to take a flower to the fair. Flower? Take a lovely flower to the fair. Flowers! Flowers to the fair! Lovely flowers to the fair. Flower? Flower? Ladies arrive to the fair with flair. Put a flower in your hand. Huh? So, no thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, did I forget to mention that the flowers are absolutely free?
Oh my gosh, I'm my head. Oh,
That's my color. Thank you.
this is definitely
like
my
this address.
color. Thank you.
We'll be waiting for you, Dickon.
Don't be too long.
Don't forget to bring along the snare.
I won't.
Oh,
Tom! You know, maybe I'll pluck what's left of these flowers by Ben's cottage. He'll look out, and they'll be like that.
Dickon!
As soon as I'm done taking care of these flowers, we can be off to the fair.
You don't understand! The robin!
Eh?
He flew down to the earth and began to peck the soil with his beak, and he was almost in a fury!
That's nothing to worry about. I'm sure he was trying to build a nest, looking for blades of grass and twigs. Birds like their comfort.
It wasn't that kind of digging. He kept poking and chirping and looking at me. And finally, I realized what he wanted.
What?
He wanted me to dig. And I did, and look what I found.
Is this the key the master buried all them years back?
It has to be.
I'll wager. But what are you going to do with it?
What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to open the secret garden.
But nobody's been in there over 13 years. Don't tell me what you'll find.
I'm not afraid. Are you?
No.
Come along then.
Wait for me, Miss Barry. Let's go.
The secret garden that's always in the blue, with memories and miracles in secret garden of mine.
On Master Colin.
His temper tantrums aren't nearly as wicked as they were, and his breathing seems better.
There's always the danger of relapse. We must never forget, Master Colin has been through plenty. Those weak legs, rheumatic fever, coughs and a cold that nearly killed him. Even a touch of typhoid.
He seems less lonely, though, and hasn't cried in weeks.
I get quite tired of telling you stories about India. Besides, I mustn't neglect the garden.
You have a garden, Miss Mary.
Not really a garden. You couldn't call it that. A piece of earth is more like it. My uncle said I might have it. When was that? Some months ago, before he went abroad.
And what do you have in your piece of earth?
Only the things Dickon Sowerby recommends.
Good lad. That Dickon.
Things are beginning to grow. There are clusters of purple and gold crocuses, and leaves are beginning to poke out and uncurl.
It is the season.
I plan to visit that piece of earth soon.
Now, Master Colin. I'm impressed by your improvement, but we mustn't rush things. I'll return this evening. I must visit Ben Weatherstaff. I'm afraid that leg isn't as good as I thought. We have to go to the hospital. Keep up with the medication, nurse.
Yes, Doctor.
Does Dr. Craven ever smile? Is that a funny question?
No, Miss Mary, but that's what folks asked about you when you first came to Misselthwaite. Does Miss Mary ever smile?
I suppose I have changed a great deal. Still, it's nothing to laugh about.
I want you to stay with me all afternoon.
You're being silly. I've too many things to attend to. Besides, I must visit with Ben.
But you have to do what I say. Everybody does.
That again. You're like a young sultan in India, sitting on a silken pillow, always wanting his own way. Well, I won't give in to you this time. I won't stay.
You will.
I won't.
Will.
Won't.
If you don't stay with me, I'll work myself into a tantrum.
Go ahead. You're so spoiled.
How dare you speak to me like that? How dare you?
I'm going to the garden, and I'm leaving you here.
If you go without me, I'll scream and yell.
See if I care. Besides, I can scream and yell louder than you.
You can't.
I can.
Now what is all this? Things were going so well between you two. Hysterics again, my.
I won't be ordered about by Colin. I'm his friend, not his servant.
She's cruel, nurse. That's what she is. Cruel.
So says the young sultan.
Ow!
What now?
The lump on my back. It's growing.
Lump. You didn't feel a lump. And if you did feel a lump, it was only a hysterical lump. Hysteria makes lumps.
There is a lump, there is!
Now show me his back this minute.
Perhaps you won't let me.
Go on, show her. She'll see then. She'll be sorry. She'll apologize.
There isn't a lump there. There's not a lump as big as a pin, except for backbone lumps. You can only feel them because you're thin. I've got them too. They'll be gone when I'm fatter, and it'll be the same with you.
I didn't know he thought he had lumps on his spine. His back is weak only because he won't do what he is told. How could
No.
I told him there was no lump in his spine? Yes, Colin?
Do you think I could live to grow up?
You probably will, if you do what you are told. Remember what the specialist from London said? Spend a great deal outside in fresh air.
Mary,
Yes, Sultan?
Now, Miss Mary, be nice.
I want to be outside with you and Dickon.
Well, Dick can find a baby fox, and a crow's come to visit.
Plenty of time for that later. Master Colin must get some rest. I'll go fluff your pillow.
Oh, Mary, I was afraid you were going to give away our secret to Dr. Craven.
Never. It's our secret. Yours, mine, and Dickens.
Tell me more about the garden.
It was left alone for so long that the roses began to climb along the ground and up the trees, hang from the walls, almost like a strange grey mist.
I'm afraid I can't be too encouraging, Miss Wiggin.
Since I was in the vicinity, I thought I might as well stop by. I was hoping for at least a word or two with Dr. Craven. I heard he was back.
Back in England? Yes. London. He stays in the Empress Hotel, a fashionable establishment. Not that he'd notice. I imagine he's sitting in the lobby, surrounded by gloom and doom.
And he explicitly stated Miss Mary was not to have a governess?
For the time being, anyway. I must say, the child has improved. She no longer sulks and pouts, and why, the other day when I saw her, I thought she looked pretty, like a wildflower. Mrs. Sowerby, a neighbour woman, attributes it to garden work.
Garden work?
You know, planting, weeding, picking away the bugs. Mary gave me this. Isn't it a choice?
Beautiful. Is Dr. Craven about?
Of course. She rarely leaves this.
Since the position of governess is no longer available, I'll have to look elsewhere. I'm afraid I wasted too much time thinking about Misselthwaite Manor. You might tell Mr. Craven that a wildflower is often mistaken for a weed.
That I will.
You sound like the doctor.
Dr. Craven,
Miss Mary's my doctor.
shall I try to find her? She must be somewhere about.
No, she knows I'll be here. Same as yesterday. I don't need you.
I think John and I have to stay, sir.
I don't want you to stay. Understand? I want you to go back to the house. When it's time for me to return, Mary and Dickon will get me.
Yes, Master Colin. Mustn't catch a chill. The sun can fool you. How's that, company?
Off you go. Hello to you too, Mr. Robin. Fine day.
That don't make sense.
That's what I said. Hello, Colin. We looked for you a little while ago.
Nurse made me take a bowl of hot soup. Said I couldn't go out until I did.
Who fetched you here?
Same as yesterday. Your brother, the stable boy,
Oh, John.
and your sister Betty. I sent them away. I don't want to take any chances with our secret guide.
Well, come along then, Colin. There's a lot of work to be done, and every day is a new day.
Let's see how the things we planted yesterday are coming along.
Things can't grow that fast, Master Cullen. Not even when you want them to.
Even I know that.
Help me.
Careful.
Easy does it.
Oh, that was better than yesterday.
You've been practicing them back exercises I showed you.
Yes, but I never tell the doctor. He might not approve.
I've got some new packets of seed today. I brought them with my own money. We'll plant them today.
I never knew the outdoors could be so much fun.
So much nicer than staying in your stuffy room.
Mary, Dickon,
Yes?
I want to show you something. I haven't looked at it in a long, long time. I didn't want to.
Cameo brooch. I've never seen one so lovely. Look at it.
It's lovely for sure. Who's the beautiful lady painting on it?
My mother. For a long, long time, I didn't want to be reminded of her. I was angry with her. She had died and left me alone.
Are you still angry with her?
No, but I wish I could have known her. Oh, I wish she could have known me. I like to think she's smiling down from heaven, seeing the sun in her secret garden.
I imagine she is.
Smiling because every day you're getting stronger and stronger.
You've got to believe in things real hard, Colin. Because sometimes, if you do, they really come true.
Ooh, what? Taking flowers to the county fair. But you've got to believe. Otherwise it doesn't work.
It is a beautiful day.
Mr. Snail comes on trail behind his garden.
Silver bells and cockle shells and marigolds
Nurse, why is Master Cullen not in his room?
I believe he's out and about. Doctor, I believe he'll be just fine. John's come out for some fresh air.
He can't all of a sudden be up and about like this. We can't be taking any risk with the boy's health.
Master Cullen seems to be improving. You said it yourself.
Yes, and I also said he needed resting. Please, see that he gets his rest.
Yes, Doctor.
I don't understand it myself, but I must admit it's something of a miracle.
Why, just yesterday, Cullen managed to make a joke and even chuckle at himself.
This morning, while I was standing by his bedside, he slapped me on the terrier.
Master Colin does have a bit of courage. He did whatever he was well.
I've even seen him smile once or twice.
I give a lot of credit to Miss Mary. She doesn't tolerate those timber tantrums, and she's even quite blunt with him.
I haven't heard him scream or yell in weeks. But he never. How eating a lot better himself lately. When I lifted from his bed, I could tell he's gained a pound or two. And he doesn't seem as tired or angry as well.
All I know is that something is happening to Master Colin. I wonder what could be the certain cure.
Master Misselthwaite, madam.
Besides that, I mean... Oh, a scientist. I'd like to be a scientist. Oh, I'd like to be the greatest scientist this world has ever known.
I suppose I'll be doing what I'm doing now. Except I should be paying more attention to the vegetables. Lots of carrots, potatoes, cabbages and such.
But why? Oh, flowers are much nicer to look at.
That is true. But most people don't like eating flowers. English people, anyways.
Wouldn't my father be surprised to know I was out here? Feeling ever so stronger.
You could have Dr. Craven write to him.
No, I don't want anyone to tell my father. I want it to come as a surprise.
You know, if we finish early enough, marrying me will show you where the hedgehogs are living.
I've never seen a real hedgehog.
Funny little creatures. You'll smile when you see one.
I never thought of this again.
Hi, Mother.
Master Colin, do you remember me now?
Why, of course I do, Miss Sowerby. I met you a few years ago when I was still feeling strong enough to go to the fair. I didn't like it there. People stared at me. It was because of my wheelchair.
I can hardly believe my eyes.
But, Mary, this was our secret. Yours, mine, and Dickens.
Well, you don't really mind, do you? Miss Sowerby is different. She's one of us.
Well, I suppose not. Seeing as how she's Dickens' mother, you've told so many nice things about her.
I told you you'd be surprised.
Seeing Master Colin like this is more wonderful than any surprise I could have ever imagined. And the garden has come back to life.
That's Mary's doing mostly. She found the key and opened the door.
Oh,
What's wrong, Miss Sowerby?
I know why the garden's come back to life. Your mother's in the garden. I can feel it. She's here. She couldn't keep out of it.
Well, if she's here, she'll like this.
Go on, Colin. Show me Mother.
Hey, show me what? Bossy didn't help me.
No, Mother. He's got to do this on his own.
Go on, Colin. Walk.
What do you say? Walk?
Just one small step.
One step, and you'll be free of the wheelchair. Free to run and play.
Don't be afraid of stumbling. Everybody does. I can do it. Watch me, I'll do it.
So well.
I'm walking! I won't just walk! I'm going to run! Oh, I won't just run! I'm going to fly! I shall be well! Mary, to give Miss Sowerby, I shall be well! And I shall live forever and ever and ever!
Are they going to drop it off here at the hotel, or are you going to pick it up?
I told you to deliver it here.
Thank you, Crunchy.
Mr. Craven? Mr. Archibald Craven of Misselthwaite Manor?
Did you hear that,
Yorkshire?
Crunchy?
Mr. Craven?
Here, boy. One moment.
Thank you, sir.
Did you see that, Crunchy? He didn't even open the letter.
He seems tired.
Perpetually tired man, I hear. Listlessly dull.
He does. Seems sad.
Never got over his wife's death, I hear. Can't bear to be around his son.
Perhaps you should introduce yourself.
Wouldn't pay to know such a gloomy man.
Just Still, he might be dreaming.
Dream on, Mr. Craven. In any case, time for tea, Crunchy.
There's a secret garden that's always in the bloom, with memories and miracles in the secret garden of mine. Come to the garden, feel the sun, look at the roses. Please come to the garden. It's been a long time since you've been there. I've missed you. Those rose trees we planted a long time ago, they're growing again. Remember we were afraid they might die? The family of robins, oh how they chatter and chirp. We'll always be happy. You mustn't be sad.
Lilius?
Of course, dear. It's Lily's. Where would you expect me to be?
Where? Where?
In the garden, Archie. In the garden, our garden.
Lilius! Sleep. I was dreaming, yes. That's it. I was dreaming. A letter? Mrs. Susan Sowerby. How odd.
Dear sir, I trust you will not think me forward, but as you've been kind to me and mine in the past, I feel I can take the liberty. You will recall, sir, we once talked about young Miss Mary and how a governess might not be needed. She's come along nicely, she has, but sir, please, sir, I would come home if I was you. I think you'd be glad to come. And if you'll excuse me, sir, I think your lovely young wife would ask you to come if she was still here. Your obedient servant, Susan Sowerby.
Is this part of the dream too? Am I still dreaming? I'll go back, losers. Misselthwaite. I'll find the key. I'll open the door. What goes once?
Out his room.
Did he say anything?
Did he ever? Said he was going to open up the walled garden. No one's been in there in over 13 years.
When did he arrive?
As I said moments ago.
Where's the master now?
In the garden, I can imagine. If you can remember where he buried the key.
I'd better inform Dr. Craven. She'll want to know about this.
Didn't even ask about Master Colin or Miss Mary. Just in the door long enough to announce his presence.
Has he gone mad?
Oh, I think it's best if I try to locate him. In his condition, he might fall and hit his head. Or worse, attack somebody! Oh!
I'll come with you! Poor man, still eaten with grief.
Are you sure it was a house carriage?
I am, and it was my uncle who got out.
This will be a surprise for Colin.
I just hope it won't. It was your mother who wrote.
Out of the goodness of her heart, can you be sure?
I just hope it won't upset Collins.
We'll have to wait and see.
What's wrong with you, Cousin Archie? You seem possessed.
Call what you will. What are you even doing here? Who opened the garden? Who found the key? Who dared?
I did, Uncle. You said I might have a piece of earth and make it come alive.
I never dreamed you'd pick this place.
How did you find the key? A robin showed me where it was buried.
A robin?
Fanciful, I'd say.
Oh no, miss. There's a genuine magic here. I feel it all the time.
I'm going back to the house. I wish to see my son.
There's no need to go back to the house for that, sir.
How's that?
See for yourself.
Is this more of a dream? Am I still dreaming?
Where is your wheelchair? It's him, son. It's your son. It's why I wanted you from home. The boy needs his father.
Master Colin. No doubt about it.
Can it be? You look so different. Out of the wheelchair.
I'm Colin. You can believe it, Father.
So strong. So tall. You look so much like your mother.
It was the garden that did it. And Mary and Dickon.
We intend our roast, sir. Listen, I have to go.
Oh, Colin. All these years, I've forgotten how to live. How to love.
Don't be afraid of stumbling, sir. Everybody does.
You've got a lifetime left to give to your son.
Can you ever forgive me, son?
I forgive you, Father.
I won't hide myself away in that dingy flat in London any longer. My days of running away are over.
Now, you mustn't be too hasty, Archibald. I'll need to give Colin a thorough examination to determine if his alleged recovery is real or merely a case of rallying for a rapid decline.
Cousin, you've done enough already. I believe your services as a physician no longer be required. And as I will be home to run the estate from now on, may I recommend you move to London and take up residence in my old flatbed. I insist.
Very well.
And as for you, son, we will begin again together, shall we?
We'll always be
Together. We'll always be together.
The garden doesn't have to be secret anymore.
Cousin, be a good fellow and fetch the wheelchair back to the house, would you? I'm going to take a stroll with my son.
I'm never getting into that chair again. We'll walk to the house, Father. Together?
I'll get your wheelchair for you, in case you start to collapse.
Don't count on it!
There's a secret garden that's locked far away. There are memories and miracles in this secret garden of mine. There are memories and miracles, ever so fine, in this secret garden of mine.